The Republican candidates at the recent Fox Business debate took multiple jabs at philosophers, and Marco Rubio continued doing that after the debate. Here he is on Fox News.
Talk about something else. Welding. You said we need welders, that welders get paid more than philosophers. We're getting too many people with philosophy degrees. Here is your tweet. The Google Trends searches for welding classes are spiking 1,300%. Do you happy to be behind the welders today?
Well, look, that's it's not just welders, machinists, airplane mechanics, car technicians. These are good-paying jobs. For the life of me, I don't know why we stopped teaching Americans to do that kind of work, to work with their hands. These are good-paying jobs. We can be teaching kids to do that when they're 16 or 17 years of age.
Right.
And there's a shortage of people. You go around the country, as I do, to these manufacturing facilities, they can't find qualified workers. We should be training more young Americans to take on vocational careers, good-paying jobs.
Plato would have been so much more successful if he just welded and stopped yapping about his philosophy. Senator.
Well, if you can find a welder, if you can find a philosopher that can weld, that's pretty good.
That's great. Senator, I'm off to do some research.
You should have done the research before the segment, Slapstick. Oh my God. Brian Kilmeade just argued that Plato should have shut the fuck up and did something else. One of the best philosophers ever. He's like, Plato would have been better off if he did something else, Should have stopped yapping about his philosophy. Oh my God, that's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God. That's too far even for Fox News. You just argued against Plato being a philosopher. You said he should have done something else. Unreal. No, but this goes to the heart of a divide on the right and the left that's been there for a long, long time. I mean, the right-wingers typically favor, sending people to school if they're going to learn at school practical stuff to function in the real world. Teach them a trade, like you'll hear conservatives say. Teach the kid a trade so we'll be all right when he's older. You'll hear him say something like that. And, liberals historically have said, well, why limit yourself to that? We should also teach abstract ways of thinking and intellectual pursuits and logic and philosophy and psychology and all these other things that might not necessarily have a practical real-world application in the short run, but hey, it's something that you enrich your life if you learn more about the world and the way that brilliant people have thought throughout history, whether it is Plato or somebody like Freud or whoever. And look, to be kind to the right on this, they're not 100% wrong. Like, I'm not against teaching practical things for functionality and how to live in the world in school. In fact, I'm in favor of that. But the thing is, you can't be against the intellectual pursuits also. So you need both of those things in school. But what we see on the right from somebody like Marco Rubio is that, he mocks philosophy, and Brian Kilmeade literally mocking Plato. Brilliant philosophers. Why would you do that? So you're just against intellectual pursuits. So don't get mad at us when we call you the anti-intellectual party. You're wearing it on your fucking sleeves, guys. You are the anti-intellectual party. You don't want people to learn about philosophy and psychology and all these abstract ways of thinking, which are very important. You only want them to learn to be a goddamn welder, goddammit. Maybe a plumber or something. I took a shit, fix it, goddammit. This is the real world you live in now, sonny boy. No, that's not all there is to life. There's more than just that. So it's really sad to hear this. And also keep in mind that everything else they said there simply wasn't true. So, for example, when Marco Rubio's like, I've been around the country, I've spoken to people who say there's a shortage of people for different jobs. Okay, but that's just not correct. There are more people than job openings in the country. By a lot. And a lot of the jobs that people have, mind you, also give them a working poor existence where they work full-time, but they don't make enough money to survive. So only an ignorant person or a stupid person would blame the people in that scenario. There's obviously systemic flaws. But Marco Rubio just wants to say, like, people are lazy and they don't want to get their hands dirty and they don't want to work hard anymore, all these lazy liberals and how they're living. They're the problem. The problem's not the system. Well, then why are you trying to run to be the president of that system? I mean, if you think there's nothing wrong with it and it's the people's fault, there are a lot of job openings. There's a shortage of people. But no, there's not. There's not a shortage of people. And again, I get it, guys. I'm in favor of both approaches to education. Teach practical real-world stuff and also teach intellectual pursuits and teach philosophy and psychology and stuff like that. But Marco Rubio just is pretending that the problem is, it's not the economy and systemic factors and income inequality. It's, you know, these people, there's a shortage of people. They're just too lazy to actually go do the hard work that's necessary. No, people are willing. They're willing to do the jobs. And then finally, there's also this fact. They said that welders make more than philosophers. That's not correct. Raw Story reports on this. Quote, salary.com shows that the median annual salary for philosophy instructors comes in at about $42,000, while an intermediate level welder makes about $41,000. The disparity grows when a philosophy professor's income is compared with a senior welder's, $90,000 versus $50,000. So a philosopher makes much more.